The U.S. Supreme Court has reinstated a murder conviction in the case of the man charged with killing 6-year-old Etan Patz. But many questions remain. Patz went missing in 1979. His body has never been found. This picture was one of the first to be put on milk cartons as part of an effort to find missing and exploited children. The case was cold for years before a jailhouse confessional led to prosecutors to charging Pedro Hernandez with the crime. Well, joining us this morning is Lisa Cohen. She's the director of the DuPont Columbia Awards at Columbia Journalism School and the author of the book After Etan, and a friend, colleague, mentor, professor of Vlad's. But what is your take on the Supreme Court decision?
You know, I started reporting on this in the early 90s, sometime after Etan disappeared. And it's never left me, just like it's never left most of the people who had touched the case in any way. Cops, reporters, everyone. And one of the reasons is every time you think it's over, every time you think you've heard, you know, the last of it or the strangest of it, that something new happens. So I was shocked, but I was also shocked last year when they overturned the case. I was shocked when Pedro Hernandez appeared as
and confessed.
A brand new person of interest, and then, you know, prime suspect. He had never been heard of before.
You know, Lisa, hundreds, if not thousands, of children go missing every year in this country, but you said something interesting, which is that for so many of us who have never touched the case, that little boy's face staring out at you from a milk carton from the moment we were the same age, Etan and I were practically the same age. So when he disappeared, it changed a little bit the way parents thought about their children. I was here in New York City. Etan was here in New York City. The illusion of safety was absolutely shattered. And I sort of feel, again, there had been children that had gone missing before Etan, but something changed in the way that parents thought about letting their children out.
I wrote a book called After Etan, and it was about, there were times before Etan when we thought of safety one way, and then after Etan, everything changed. And yes, there have been other missing children cases. Let me just say, though, that there are hundreds of thousands of kids, or I'm not really sure what the figure is. It's actually really rare for a stranger danger case. Most overwhelmingly, statistics are that it's a family dispute, it's a custody issue, it's runaways. So this was an unusual thing, but Etan's father, Stan, was a professional photographer. He was a beautiful little white child, and he had thousands of photographs of this boy. We didn't have cell phones back then where we could take pictures, snap, snap, snap. It was a fairly unusual thing to see those images so beautiful, so up close, so intimate, and they were everywhere. And I think it just really, it touched a nerve the way a lot of other cases
Are you still
didn't.
in touch with his parents?
Yeah.
And how do they feel about this?
You know, I talk to them, but I don't talk about that.
How they feel.
Yeah.
Did you, I think I asked you this when I was your student, do you believe that Pedro Hernandez is the one who murdered Etan?
Yes, I get asked that all the time. I think one of the great things about being a journalist is that you report things that you know. You don't have to give your opinions. You don't even have to have opinions. And most of the work that I did on the book was about another prime suspect, a man named Jose Ramos, who recently actually died. And there was circumstantial evidence against him as well. And there was circumstantial evidence other than this confession, which in Pedro Hernandez's case, other than this confession, which his attorneys claimed was because he was mentally ill and he had been manipulated. There isn't a lot of other evidence.
Other than the confession and the circumstantial evidence that you cite in the book.
Right. So I think I don't have to have an opinion. I think I would leave it up to people who can form their own opinions. But I do know that Stan Patz, Etan's father, firmly believes that this is the man who killed his son.
He does?
Yeah. And he's been pretty vocal about that. And so this is a way for the family to get some kind of, I don't like the word closure, but get some kind of sense that the case is over and he knows what happened to his child.
We would all like to hope that that is true, just for the family's sake, for their peace of mind, and just for little Etan to know that he's hopefully, his case there's been justice served in his case. Lisa, thank you as always.
You're welcome.